Here's the bottom line up front. Ninja Gaiden 4 has the best 3D action combat I've played since Devil May Cry 5, and it knows it. The blades bite, the timings are razor thin, and when it clicks you feel like a tornado in human form. But once you step outside the arena, the high drops fast. The level design leans bland, the new protagonist needs a personality transplant, and the late game pacing faceplants. So should you buy a game that's brilliant in the fight and beige everywhere else? If you live for combat that punishes autopilot and rewards intention, yes. If you want the full package, story, levels, bosses, the works, temper expectations. Context first. After 13 years of limbo, Team Ninja tags in PlatinumGames for a co-developed sequel under Xbox Game Studios, launching October 2025 on PC and current consoles. The assignment was impossible. Keep the precision and pressure of Ninja Gaiden 1-2, inject modern flair, and not drift into pure platinum camp. What we got is a shockingly faithful core, the liming, essence economy, invulnerable ultimate techniques, enemy aggression dialed to sadist, seasoned with platinum spice. Think Bayonetta flourishes without Bayonetta looseness. The result is speed with friction. Enemies grab, armor up, flank, and punish repetition. You can't mash, you have to manage. Let's talk kit. Yakumo's Bloodraven form is the new axis. Hold the trigger and your weapon morphs into a slower meter-gated arsenal that breaks guard, stuffs supers, and opens stuns. It's not a win button, it's a tempo shift. If you preempt too early, you burn meter into whiffs. If you react too late, you eat a boot. That choice, risk meter to seize momentum or save it to parry unblockables, creates a combat rhythm that constantly asks, are you reading or reacting? Layer on the berserk gauge that cashes in for cinematic one-hit finishers when you've ridden the edge long enough, plus hot swapping weapons mid-combo, and suddenly the expression ceiling shoots up without turning the game into freestyle jazz. You can go launch into aerial loops, swap into a heavier moveset to spike, then cancel into an ultimate off fresh essence. It's crunchy, it's readable, and it's lethal. Where the fandom divides is everything around that excellence. IGN lands in the combat god tier, package uneven camp, flagging a flat lead predictable plot, and reuse heavy Ryu chapters that feel like a missed layup. PC Gamer is harsher on the identity crisis. Too many progression currencies, too many pop-up missions, too many on-rails detours that smell like 2025 trend chasing. On the other side, the gamer champions this as the best feeling Ninja Gaiden ever and actually praises the story for once, arguing Yakumo plus a more human cast lands better than the old stoic ninja mythic vibe. So why the split? It comes down to what you want out of Ninja Gaiden. If you measure by purity, immediacy of tools, minimal UI nagging, levels that feel like combat puzzles, then NG-Force add-ons and notifications sand the series edge. If you welcome modern bombast and a bit of platinum theatricality, surfboard chases, nightclub arenas, meter pops, this hits like a greatest hits remix. Veteran games take, the combat is non-negotiably elite. Enemy AI aggression brings back the suffocating pressure that makes survival feel like style. Bloodraven isn't a crutch, it's a scalpel for armored problems. The hit stop, the iframes, the cancels, none of it is sloppy. And the optional purgatory gates are the real playground. Self-imposed health handicaps for huge payouts that teach spacing, meter discipline, and target priority under duress. If you're here for mastery, NG4 gives you a dojo and dares you to leave with your thumbs intact. Now the body blows. Early progression is stingy to the point of mean, and not in the good, get better way. Core techniques that define Ninja Gaiden, instant essence charge into ultimates, flying swallow, Izuna drop, sit behind the shop and share currency with consumables. Deluxe owners start loaded. Standard players eat glass for a couple hours. The intention is clear. A short ramp that trains you, then showers you. The effect is also clear. It front-loads friction that feels artificial. Once unlocked, you're cruising, but the first impression is a grimace. Add constant, you can unlock a node pop-ups, and you get UI noise that fights the game's hyperfocus. Bosses swing wildly. When NG4 locks you against a human scale hunter with an adrenal soundtrack and clear punish windows, it sings, think Metal Gear Rising's best duels. When it wheels out another HP's behemoth that teleports or spawns ads, the fight becomes crowd control with a gimmick tax. That variance signals two design philosophies grappling under one hood: Platinum Spectacle and Ninja Gaiden Discipline. When those meet, it rules. When they miss, you feel the seam. Level design is the biggest letdown. The fights happen in smart arenas with grapple points and vertical lanes, but the connective tissue, rooftops, corridors, military bases, sewer runs, oscillates between serviceable and forgettable. The flashy traversal beats, rail grinds, wingsuit dodges, surfboard set pieces repeat without meaningful escalation, so they read as palate cleansers rather than wow moments. It's not broken, it's just conservative. For a series that once toured the world or folded a city into a semi-open maze, hanging out in stylized but samey spaces undersells the momentum the combat builds. Quick spoiler in 3, 2, 1. Ryu shows up for a handful of chapters with a single weapon and a gleam form equivalent, and his route replays Yakumo's spaces, including a boss you just beat minutes prior. His fun, heavier hits mastery aura, but his role feels like a respectful cameo rather than a co-headliner. If you were waiting 13 years for a full-on Hayabusa campaign, this ain't that. Spoilers over. As a replay option for stages and trials, Ryu's a great alternate flavor. As a narrative pillar, he's undercooked. A lore snack for the road. The Raven Clan move gives Ninja Gaiden an actual runway for future conflicts. They're a shadow faction with messy eggs and a chip on the shoulder, and Purify the Dark Dragon sets up a cosmology you can escalate without recycling fiends forever. The theory play is obvious. If Yakumo's Bloodraven power and Ryu's gleam are two sides of a dragon-forged coin, we're one sequel away from a real mechanical dual protag design that doesn't feel stapled on. Performance and platform quick hits. On decent PC hardware, frame rates stay locked, which matters more here than almost any genre. The camera behaves better than the old days, but still hates tight hallways. Accessibility toggles like auto block at low health and enemy color cues broaden the tent without turning normal into story mode. Difficulty remains the soul of the series. Hard is the sweet spot for many, Master Ninja is the badge, and hero mode exists without judgment. If you want the dopamine of survival rather than the drip of stat sheets, NG4 is the antidote to the stamina meta of the last decade. Here's your payoff if you've been on the fence. Ninja Gaiden 4 is a must-play for combat junkies. It's not the complete package, too many levels are diet grey, bosses are inconsistent, and the early economy is stingy. But inside the fight, it's sublime. If you can accept the uneven wrapper, you'll get a top-tier action system with enough headroom to keep you labbing for weeks, especially with 18 post-game combat trials and stage boss replays that actually respect your time. If this kind of no BS deep dive is your thing, hitch a ride with Veteran Game and hit subscribe. If you're nodding or fuming, toss a like so this take survives the algorithm and tell me where you land on the purity versus spectacle spectrum. Final stance, brilliant in motion, basic in between. The best pure combat this side of DMC5, held back by safe staging and a half-measure approach to Ryu. Recommendation for action fans is strong. For everyone else, know what you're buying. 10 hours of phenomenal fights inside a serviceable but forgettable tour. Now sound off, did Platinum elevate Ninja Gaiden, or did the meters and set pieces sand off the edge you loved?